morning, everybody. My name is Esperanza Martinez, and I'm the lead organizer with the Bus Riders Union. We would like to welcome you to our press conference to announce an important tactical victory in our ongoing fight to protect and expand civil rights. Today you will hear first-hand accounts of how the MTA's flagrant deterioration of bus service impacts the daily lives of bus riders across the county. In November of 2010, the Bus Riders Union, along with longtime allies, the Los Angeles Community Action Network and the Koreatown Immigrant Workers Alliance, submitted an administrative complaint to the Federal Transit Administration claiming that the MTA's practice of slashing thousands of hours of bus service in the last 3 years was having a discriminatory impact on LA's poor bus riders and bus riders of color, who often are one and the same. The FTA announced 2 days ago they would conduct a comprehensive compliance review to assess if MTA has in fact been complying with federal civil rights regulations, a move triggered by our administrative complaint. The BRU applauds the FTA for stepping in to investigate. We cannot stress enough how significant this investigation is, given that it comes at the heels of MTA's reduction of over 350,000 hours in December of 2010, which is over 5% of its overall bus service, and in the midst of a proposal to cut an additional 582,000 hours of bus service for 2011. Meanwhile, the agency's budget has grown by millions of dollars since 2007. We want to be very clear that this is the most thorough and detailed audit that the FTA can conduct, and they only do about 2 to 3 of these types of audits every year. MTA is out of touch with reality and with their customers. What they see as simply efficiency cuts are being rightly viewed by the outside as very significant bus service cuts with potential significant civil rights violations. In 1996, the BRU, along with Kiwa, sued the MTA under Title VI of the 1964 Civil Rights Act for creating a separate and unequal bus system by raiding bus funds to build subway and suburban rail. For 10 years, the MTA was bound to a legal contract, the consent decree, that forced them to remedy civil rights violations by keeping fares low, reducing overcrowding, and creating new routes that made better connections to cross-county medical, employment, and education centers. One huge victory of this 10-year legal battle was the addition of over 1 million hours in bus service. Since 2006, when the sun set on the consent decree and the agency no longer had the federal government eyeing them, they swiftly moved to approve and implement 2 fare increases and undo a lot of the bus service hours that we added. If 1 million hours was added under the consent decree, the MTA has already done away with 550,000 hours, including 388,000 last December. Today, they are proposing to slash another 8%, which is 582,000 hours just this year. If this moves forward, they will have successfully done away with the consent decree, which was meant, again, to remedy civil rights violations and not meant to be a temporary fix. The service cuts to the bus system have led to increased wait time, increased overcrowding, and an increased economic burden on some of the county's poor. The MTA is not bleeding. They're not crying budget deficit. This year they will receive over $120 million in Measure R revenues that are meant for bus expansion, and $96 million from the state government to operate the system. In the short term, we call on elected leaders on the MTA Board of Directors, in particular Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa, Supervisor Mark Ridley Thomas, who represent hundreds of thousands of bus riders in the county, to take preemptive action on the MTA from further undermining civil rights. This is a critical time for them to exercise their leadership by stopping this year's MTA bus service cuts proposal as a minimum first step. For 500,000 bus riders in LA County and thousands across the country, The federal government's announcement is significant given that these investigations are conducted seldomly. And it comes just a week after Peter Rogoff, FTA Chief Administrator, sent a letter to all transit agencies nationwide reminding agencies of their responsibility to comply with federal civil rights obligations, even during times of financial difficulties. We look forward to working with the FTA